Hey guys and gals, and welcome back. Thought I would take a look at another one of those bank-wrapped wheat penny rolls. And we'll show you some of the teens that we found first. Got a pretty decent 1918S. Not in fantastic condition, but the wheat ears still show a lot of the lines, so that's pretty impressive for a 1918. I mean, it's a 101-year-old coin, so not too shabby. Most of the ones that we find actually are pretty smooth, so I'm okay with that. A little bit of lamination down there below the right wheat stalk, so that's kind of cool. And a 1919S. This is a little bit more like what I would expect to find right here. Pretty smooth. But it is a teens, and it is a San Francisco strike. And the reverse actually looks better than the obverse, which is kind of strange. But maybe the obverse was a little bit of a weaker strike to begin with, and maybe that's why it just looks a little bit more worn, possibly. I'm not sure. But this one's got quite a few of the lines left in the wheat stock as well. Not too shabby. Another 1919S. And this line right here, at first glance, thought it might have actually been a die crack, but it is definitely not. That's just damage coming up from here. Front of the bow tie, it actually kind of goes through a little bit of the neck right there. But not too terrible looking. Bummer about the damage, but again, still has a lot of the lines left on the wheat stalks. A little bit of a hit right there in the C. Okay. And then we have a 1940S. Pretty nasty scrape right there. He's got a bit of a hit behind his, or on the side of his neck there. Decent looking. Pretty much all the lines are left in the wheat stalks. But this is the part that caught my eye right here. Die breaks. And actually, it kind of looks elliptical. It almost looks like maybe a large chunk of the die, the anvil die, the reverse die, was actually starting to separate. And eventually, maybe a few strikes right after this, it just kind of chunked off and they had to replace the die. But if you look at it following this rim right here, and then you can kind of see how it's raised here, it's all the way around, and I think you can kind of follow it. See, there's a little bit of a raise right there, and then it continues through here. It honestly does look like there was a giant chip of the die coming apart. It's definitely separated. But kind of neat, and either way you look at it, that die didn't last too much longer after it struck this coin, I wouldn't think. Lots and lots of character. And then we have a 1954S with a die chip in the center of the 9 there. Looks like the die chip actually got a little bit of damage on it, but you can still tell that it's a die chip. It's kind of rubbed right there, but you can see the very bottom of the chip right here, so top part of that 9 is completely filled. Not a bad looking coin overall. Decent amount of wear, but right side looks a little bit better than the left side. Not a bad looking coin. And then we have a 1949S with an extremely crooked mint mark. Again, they used to apply every single mint mark to the working die, so someone did that by hand. Happened quite a bit that they would come out fairly crooked. But I personally like coins like that just because I think it's a lot of character. It adds a lot of to me it adds some sort of history to the coin, and I think that's pretty awesome. Oh, yeah, reverse isn't too bad either. And then look at that. What do we have here? That right there is not damage. That is a peeled, a missing piece of lamination. So in other words, like I've said in a couple of other videos, it's just layers of the planchet have begun to separate and peel up. And with this one, it peeled up and it actually was scraped off somehow. It was caught on something, and that whole layer right there peeled up and separated. So again, pretty awesome little detail in the history of this coin. But for the second roll, that's pretty much all that we got. Next video, I'm going to break it up a little bit, and we're going to do some quarters. We were lucky enough to score some full bank-wrapped rolls of quarters, full boxes, 2 full boxes, and we found some pretty interesting stuff in them. But stay tuned for that, and probably have that come out either tomorrow or the next day. But until then, thanks guys for checking it out. Love you all. God bless. And we will talk to you soon. Have a good one, guys.